the sale.
And it left like a few
But eventually, you were reported to the NIA. You were asked to report to the NIA. And you were released the first day. You returned this next day. And from that day onwards, you were detained for 21 days. Does that summarize what you said?
That was what happened.
Can you tell us about your detention at the NIA?
When I was detained, they forced me to sign a document. I refused to do it. It took almost a week. And each morning they would call me to ask me to sign the document, but I would refuse.
Who would call you to sign that document?
Lamin Sise.
And this is Lamin Sise of Brufut.
Exactly.
Do you know what Lamin Sise does at the moment?
I don't know what he does now.
Okay. All right. But this was Lamin Sise at the NIA.
Yes.
And which year was this?
2016. It was in 2016.
And in your statement, it shows that it was in October 2016. Okay. All right. So, for 1 week, according to you, Lamin Sise would call you and ask you to sign the document, and you refuse.
Yes.
Was it in August or in October? Because I recall in your earlier testimony you said it was in August. But then now you said it's in October. Do you really know what month it was?
I got to know Tala in August when he came to meet me at my house.
Okay. All right, let's proceed, and we would later try to establish the date this event took place. And this document they wanted you to sign, what was it about?
They wanted me to sign away the ownership of the compound to Tala in a way that does not favor me.
And what do you mean by that? Can you explain what is contained in the document that did not favor you?
That is to say that Lamin Sise said that the compound was at a reserve land, and therefore Tala would not pay anything exceeding $200,000.
230.
I said to them, up till now the money is here, I have not touched. Let me just return back the money to you, and I will have possession of my compound.
And then?
There was a push and pull, and I refused to sign that document.
And did anything happen to you as a result of your refusal to sign the document?
Yes, something happened to me.
Tell us, please.
That was the time when the Imam of Sukuta, Imam Bey, he came after me there.
To
put it to them that he has never gone to check on anybody who has gone either to the police or the NIA. But he knew me and the kind of person that I was. That was why when he heard that I was in detention, he came to see them so that they could release me and allow me to go home. And that pained the NIA a lot after he went home. At that time, I was in my third week. So one day, around 7 in the evening, they called me. 2 people came to call me, and I went out with them.
Do you recall the names of those 2 people?
No,
I cannot recall, but one of them, I asked him on the way, and he said he is a native of Brikama. But he said his surname was Sane.
Did he say where in Birkamo he came from? Did he say where in Birkama? Kabila Juma.
Kabila Juma.
He did not say that to me because our communication was not.
Did he tell you his first name?
No, he did not tell me his name.
Okay. All right. And proceed, please. What happened after that?
So I followed after him. So we got to a door, which was, when we opened that door, we opened to the inside. I was in the middle of them. One was in front of me, the other was at my back. When the one in front got to the door, he pushed it and it opened to the left. So the door opened to the left-hand side. So the guy behind me told me, let's go inside. As soon as I got inside, somebody kicked my feet off the ground, and I fell. That was when I fell on this hand, and it led to a lot of complications.
Let the record indicate that he identified his right arm.
Yes,
it was the right hand.
Proceed, please.
Okay,
so after I fell, one came and kicked me on the side, on my ribs. While I fell, it was after that I realized that my hand had a problem. They then told me that I was wasting their time. I should have not spent all of that time there. Then I said to them, I am going to sign the document and I'll give it to you. At that time, my hand was pinning me a lot. 2 of my fingers had a problem.
Apart from kicking you from behind, which as a result of which you fell down and strained your arm, did they do anything else to you?
It was at that same spot that I was kicked on my ribs.
Was it just one kick or several kicks? Several.
It's more than one.
Asiata Fulati, is it more than 2?
Asiata Fulati.
Could you answer instead of
Siata fulatile.
It was more than 2.
Furo siata fulatile.
The kicks were more than 2.
And they were one after the other.
Was it by one person or more than one person?
Mo kilin be dam fu kawunya fu mo fulale dam fu.
Mo kilin la dam furo continue tanjam bar mi en dam fun simuto ma woje.
It was one person whose kicks continued on my ribs, but the one that kicked me off the ground, kicked my feet off the ground, I don't know who the person was.
Wasn't dunta drong yar fo ngani don to komal wala en dam.
Because I got inside, it was a guy who was behind me who kicked me.
Ro mari be konotol.
But that person is inside.
Ni minu dunta nyol mo fula wala mam fenkan.
Those 2 individuals I got inside with, they did not do anything to me.
And at this time, where was Lamin Sise?
Nintembe ndu Lamin Sise be min.
Tembo mate ye malo ap tembo minto tembo mara teba daminto.
At that time, I did not know where he was.
Manya da sute mi boka te wo binkarato.
And I could not also make out any face that looked like him.
And as a result of that beating, did you sustain any injuries?
Yo tajire ya menkela je ke lipa ke danfu fo nata barama sima le bang.
Ha min siata.
Yes, many.
Kindly tell us.
Afanyim
birin gulta lota drong insumana nan control no.
When I got up and tried to stand, my feet could not contain me.
Atrambulo fanya ni bulo fana dimo nata kumase bake.
The pain also on the hand started.
Onyamale ya murundi selo nyento.
And it was in that state that I was returned back to the cell.
You told the commission earlier that you told them that you are now going to sign the document.
Exactly.
After that happened, the following morning, they called me again. They took me to Lamin Sise's office.
And where exactly in the NIA promise was the office located?
Lamin Sise la office be mintoma fan NIA la sansango kono.
Abe NIA la sansango kono je.
It's within the complex, NIA complex.
Where in the complex?
Amunda sansango kono kordani kono mintoma fan.
NIA la campo sansango kono je ala office be je fangol.
It's on the ground. It's on the ground. He was not upstairs. He was on the ground.
Is it on the left, on the right, or straight ahead or behind?
Amunta nidunda sokono bulbala long, fomarala long, fo Kenya tilinda min long, fabe korda min to mafane nidunda sokono.
Okay, ila bunda mimbe tilinding bada mafanna.
The back gate that faces the ocean, you come through it, because I did not go through the main gate. If you come through it,
conference room for conference hall,
you get to the conference hall, which is on the left-hand side. The house that you face, that is where his office was. But it's not the story building.
All right, proceed, please.
Yo nga mfutata dia kwenye ko mbeni NIF mofula la bulala pura leta transfer dada alkalo ya.
When I got there, he told me that he was going to give me 2 NIA officers for us to go to the alcalo to effect the transfer.
Bare ni ko alkalo ko nyunmo NIA leti ni nata koteke ni be continuela.
But if you told the alcalo that these individuals are NIA officers, when you return, we are going to continue with you again. So we went with them like that, pick up this document from the alcalo and returned. But before we left, Lamin Sise called Tala and told him, don't put your name on the transfer document.
After he
told him to put the name of another person on the document, after which that name will be removed and his name will be inserted.
So Talanata to Savemimu Alusarti.
So Tala wrote a name which was Aliou Sarr,
safa dum ke kaito bala ko nyakole
wrote it on the document and told me, here is it.
ko address ni abuko
And he put the person's address as Abuko.
ko tala ko barante nel manyi Aliou Sarr je mbo to ke la kaito bal nyaade la min sise ko ko wolbe kanta.
I said to Tala, I have never seen this Aliou Sarr. How can I put his name on the document? But
Isn't the purchaser supposed to sign the sale, the Alcalo's transfer document?
Amunta sandirla fatale manyang alkalo la kaitita dari sign la.
Oh?
Sandirla mumba sanna fatale manyang alkalo la kaito ni sign la.
Sandirla nyanta sign.
yes, it's the buyer who has to sign.
Did anybody sign on behalf of Aliou Sarr?
Fodo mole na to soto me ya sign Aliou Sarr to yala.
Mo sorore je biri nate ko nyako so gapo bulaje Aliou Sarr be damin sign ne kana fo alkalo je sign mo kana je sign ba ite be damin alkalo kaito raita be je sign le yana nan janni na kaito fe ntol balo na damin be sign.
What they told me was that you should leave a gap on the document where Aliou Sarr is supposed to sign, but on your side you sign, but that gap should be left on the document. When you come back here, Aliou Sarr will sign.
O nan ke kaito bala. O nan work ke kaito bala. Miya wa fa na la sedo.
There are usually 4 names on the document: the one who sold the land and his witness,
Miya sang anal sedo.
the buyer and his own witness.
Did you have a witness?
Ito dun nata sedo soto le bang.
Anata sedo soto.
Yes, I got a witness.
Who was your witness?
Dumala kete la sedo tin.
Dimma komandi.
I called my son.
Anata atefana jes ntanga do sign atia sign duma witness number 1.
I signed and he also signed under as witness number 1.
So nata Aliou Sarr tabula je anin ala sedo to man na wasafje ko ni frate bo safela je nin kayto murunta wala nyama lamin sisel officer do.
So we left the space for Aliou Sarr's signature and his witness.
And when you were doing this, where were the 2 NIA officers?
Ngal be be ke kabo NIA mo fulul menu ye ni bula wolule.
Te talala do ko lallo ata nyin lamin sisel ni wolle be do wol ba tele koto bar kilimbi je mo sutele wo do ko kono.
He works on the Lamin Cisse, but there is one that I recognized in that operation.
Ga fay ko mbubu abara steering suta NIA lo mat.
They call him Boob. He's living in Subuta. He's an NIA officer.
Telka kuma jama futande lamin sisela.
He was the one that would inform Lamin Cisse mostly.
Tela karol bata jama kata je.
You have mentioned several books here.
Yombu to jama le fo jande.
Imbu mi ku jama baleke.
This Boob did a lot of things.
Morning killing kejela ku jama baleke.
In the 21 days that I spent there, he did many things.
Can you describe it?
Isi nyumbu akalango amulunya isi ofono ba.
Sa fono ando ningaje fanamba sutela.
Yes, I can say, and when I see him too, I'll recognize him.
Can you?
Kelo mati mi alon kat kai balo soto kata mintela.
He's a man who is well built, more built than I am.
Afinta.
He's dark in complexion.
Ay nyin soto damanding bora soto damandi wo tembo.
He had some beard, a little one at a time.
Akumo sutenda abado ko la fejanne.
To make things short, he works with you here.
Asute jamfan bi fo ngaje jan.
I recognize him. Even today, I saw him here.
Anda fana njele.
And he too saw me.
All right, proceed, please.
Yes, imbu ta kita wala nyam.
That was what happened with Mbu.
Just a second.
Okay.
This Mbub, was he one of the 2 NIA officers who accompanied you to the Alkali or not?
Yimbu ikaman foten atebe mo fulo le kono NIA la karola meni dandan kata alkalo ya.
Ani.
No.
NLT mimbe sutiare lamin sisela.
No, he was an NIA officer who was close to Lamin Cisse.
Okay, proceed. Now you've been to the Alcalo.
The
document was signed.
It was signed.
You went back to the NIA with that document. What happened next?
nata fay ko bar kayto do ba bijale min safi ko nga sign wote men bulo kandimi ala print ale do dinte fanala pour sa tan dinna family ko silan ko rama kentati.
That was when Lamin Sise said to me, you are going. But I said to him, there was one document which you made me to sign here. Can you give me a copy of it so that at least I could show it to my family to let them know that from now onwards, the land no longer belongs to me?
But ni mol kita multimedia kan ko cool date back date ka safi ka watul safi min ya lonkat ko ka safaro kayto balwa kuma ka min diate isa kayto dol date back ko nyin kum meta nin carte ma biri wati kari so yin don kerate o iketo mo sifal fanati.
But these are people who are not straight, that sometimes they backdate documents or sometimes they write things and then say things that are not really what they are.
Not agreement paper do da ni tema office ko ne to wato min ke wala tarawo wato atarante ni man du nyobul fam.
So they made an agreement paper to indicate the time when we had this issue, when at that time I did not even have this problem with them.
But did you sign this document?
Okay, we are signed.
Sign.
No, I did not sign.
Agreement fe ko atarante bulo kan dimente ta kalamata dol. Setimbum nata foko, barunta sign atoyal. So at
that time I could not sign because my fingers were paining me. But Sedmbu offered to sign on my behalf. How could he do that? Because he's a forgery expert. Once he saw your signature one time, he has mastered it.
Are you telling us that you did not sign that document?
Sign.
Agreement paper kaito ni.
You mean the agreement document?
No, ntemang was signed.
No, I did not sign it.
Transfer was signed, but agreement of me and Karko in Nintendo quarter 230,000 more kaito signed.
Jumale signed?
Who signed it?
Yankuba signed it.
Yankuba signed.
No, the question is, was the document signed in your name?
Kaito ni me kweba sign la ite toyala. Inata sign le ba.
Kenata sign Setimbu
signed. He said he could sign on my behalf. But on the transfer document, my signature there is done in Arabic.
Do you realize that this is a very serious allegation? You are saying that in your own presence, Setimbu forged your signature.
Exactly.
In fact, he brought out several documents which, when you look at them, you would think that I was one who signed and that I had all those agreements with them. In the end, Lamin Sise was listening to him more than Tala.
Like I said, we would not focus on the fraud. We would focus on the violation of your rights. And they gave you a copy of that document, correct?
Yes.
And you said that signature was not yours.
And we call signature mankete 30.
No.
Okay. I would send you a copy of this document. You take a look at it.
Exactly.
Exactly. This is the document which I recognize. This was the document that Setimbu signed.
So, show me the places that Setimbu signed in the document.
I didn't Setimbu demanu sign in Kaito Bala.
That is here.
Telephone number for Nasafeje. Sign a phone telephone number Safeje.
After he signed, he also wrote down his telephone number.
Where else on that document did he sign, if any?
I Kaito Minto Cotton sign, Natra BJ Menu sign to follow the killing.
Aya?
I mean to cotton the sign kaito but a menu signature float a killing.
I take it a witness so I just sign the Fokaba Natan Tefanata to plot honor, I will a sign.
He served as a witness and he signed on the dotted lines, and then he also signed my part as the one who sold the plot. And this is not my signature.
We have a document showing your signature. And the commission would do the basics. We would compare the signatures. And the commission would take the appropriate action. I
would love that.
And this document is dated 3rd of August 2018. 2016, excuse me. August 2016. Initially, you said this event took place in October. And we are for October.
I mean, but I mean for a draw, almost if I'll meet. It's a cool date back with a cool what we jump and couldn't carry a new colonel.
Just as I said to you earlier on, these are the kind of people I'm talking about. They could have backdated the document to make it look as if this issue has happened a long time ago.
I was there in the month of October with them.
We have the dissension register of the NIA. We would check exactly what date. We don't have 2016. I don't think we have 2016. But we will check whether we have that portion for 2016 and check whether your actual detention was registered.
Ajibela mutamul la polu safeda memba jubela for 2016 luno mfrateng for wabatra wa muluneti meya lonka etitaribu.
That will please me a lot.
And this is what the document says: transfer of ownership of plot of land at Sukuta.
Kaito wala minti korda kelele be Sukuta meya lonko atiya sawuntale kabudubulu katadubulu.
It says, I, Ustaz Musa Cham of Sukuta Kenebaring,
Ustaz Musa Cham Sukuta Kenebaring Sisekunda,
hereby transfer my plot of land situated at Sukuta near coastal layout to Mr. Talambub of New Joshua.
Saying affelenti nanyin korda keno meya lonko abe coastal road ma fangala affelenga saundi ngadi Talambubla meya lonko abe Joshua.
The amount agreed was $230,000. But in figures, it is written $230. They are missing a zero.
Not killing
it continued to say, it was further agreed that Mr. Talambub should be responsible of all the transfer transactions.
Mr. Talambub,
I hereby received a part payment of $130,000. It is written in figures $130.
And members of the
also missing a zero.
And zero
and it continued to say from him today, the 3rd day of August 2016.
And you continue the Kabuate la Carola, August 2016.
The remaining balance of $100,000 will be paid within the next 2 weeks from date.
Ya foko dalasi wulikemo to mentutakoma ibejo la tiltang ani woro wichoko.
And the document was signed by Talambub.
Meye kaito nyin sign ikafa ne Talambub.
Said Mbub. Musa Cham. Yankuba Cham. This Yankuba Cham, where does he work?
Yankuba Cham, abedo kola min.
Abedo kola coming fiscal plan or land survey? What's he for?
He works either at the fiscal planning or land survey, but it is some place that is related to land affairs, and it's also in this team that is involved in such activities.
And that is the document you said was falsely signed in your name?
And Willem Kaitoti Yemen sign Kuruya kono Yemen sign ite toyala.
Exactly. Willem Kaitoti.
This is the document.
That is your testimony under oath?
Willem ila sede yaroti ila kaliwo kono.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, we would ask to put this, to exhibit this document, and there are a few exhibits that needs to be put in. At the end of his testimony, I'll give you all the exhibit numbers. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I proceed. Thank you. All right. May I pass on the documents to the chair and the commissioners so that they can take a look at the document? For purposes of signature comparisons, I have a few documents signed by the witness. You can check the signatures yourself and see whether they appear, there appears to be a forgery or not. And does this document represent exactly the transaction that you had with Talambu?
Ni kaito te me ya lonko wole denta banku keno yinna sawla men keten Talambu tema.
The question is, does this document represent exactly the transaction he had with Talambu?
Wole mkonyin kaito, nyom kaito te men denta kolu tanya la ini Talambu tema keno la karola.
Nyine mo kaito ti.
You misinterpreting the question.
Okay.
Nyin documento.
What is written on it?
Anding agreement ye ide nin Talambu be nin soto. For killing them, for killing them.
And
Kilinti jamfara nyola back.
it's not the same. They are far apart.
Rane kaito fon jibe kumol manyomuta.
That is why if you look at the document, the message is not even concurrent.
Can you tell us the transaction you had with Talambu?
Afonye woto inin Talambu tema aliye nyin kaito aliye nyin kunya ludo kunya dile.
Ala kordami yankarka alotale bullo rimbandingu bije.
A lot of land,
kemeflo ultalula na tarako kudo bela.
a lot of land which has a compound which is built already. Would it even make sense for someone to sell such a place for 230,000?
Make empty land for korda land koda ye murun koda ye bulo je firebank. You have 230,000. Hakilo tatala.
It's not just an empty plot of land. The land is there, the house is also built, and to sell it for $230,000 is even no sensible mind will accept that.
How much did you spend on that house?
Ite kolo jelle dépense wo bumoto.
Obuto ngakodo min fang lo bu fang dama doro na karola ngamin lo ja tata wili asujata wili keme sabala. Sutiata wala.
What I
fulani mfendal. High mark nyaming.
If I am to estimate the amount of money spent on building this house is close to $300,000.
Because being below koso lanka bidon sanne bidon $10.
Since the time that we molded blocks, I used to buy the gallons. Donkey cart will bring 10 of those gallons for each trip.
Okay. So, in a sense, you are saying that the cost of the house alone is more than what is stated in the document as the selling price of both the house and the land.
Amunta, bumo ete depanso men ka kunna, wole mukolo te men yiriko siata fang korda bu amun bumo ni mume be kafrinyo.
Exactly, tole akenyame.
Yes, as they did.
But this document shows that they owed you $100,000. Was that true?
Come in tele will keme will talul dintela. Atuta will keme. Ansa in koralo rimbando most of us will keme will talul. Hakilo tatala.
That cannot be. Since they gave me $150,000, how would you expect? This is just something that they are trying to cook up. But for a land with a house completely built to be sold for that amount, nobody will accept that.
How much did Talambu pay you? How much cash did you receive from him?
130,000 nawol muta buloko.
I received 130,000 from him.
230,000.
230,000.
Wodina purungata kaito dala.
You gave me that so that I could prepare the documents.
Banana kudo nyimma manana from fenke beri nata alon ka ni setim bubulu ta drong nata lo.
I did not touch the money. I did not do anything with it. Once I realized that they were working together with certain book.
Transfer the nanta dealer nga firo bol full labanta NIA.
Give me transfer. I said I'm not going to give you transfer. I am no longer proceeding with the sales, and that eventually led us to the NIA.
But this document says that the selling price was 230,000. They advance 130,000 and they owe you 100,000.
But in kaito ko ale kambenta wuli kame fula wuli tansa balela andu Italy kame wuli tansa badundi amunta silang ila julo membela wala wuli kamoti.
So alabo kelale because ile okuma ka unjibe amanti maj ata kenno lo wanyama fam ay to minta ata kenno lo wanyama ni ata ni hakilol.
It cannot be the way it is written in the document if you look at this thing with a lot of care.
How much did you sell the land for?
Itinata kenu wa fi jelela.
Teka bung keno ni wa wili keme selela.
I was selling it at $800,000.
How much was paid?
Italy jelle jo.
Tole 237 le dinna kwangata kaito nyindada.
They gave me 230,000 so that I could prepare the documents.
How much was outstanding?
Jelle tutakoma.
Minus for 800,000 okon.
Minus the...
I am asking you, how much did you have in your mind as outstanding?
Amunta etela miro betele nyininka kang. Kodo men nanga mo tutakoma inyam tawlon nale.
570. Imagine 230,000 minus 800,000, 570.
If I am not forgotten, it's 570,000.
Imagine.
If I am not forgotten.
When this document was produced, did you tell the NIA that Tala owed you 570,000?
But Britain kaito dada. Yenyu for NIA ulienda ko Tala. Alla itela kolo mentu tabulu wala wuli kame lulu ani wuli tawrawla.
Na fo sinya kile la min sisi kon kana fo because je muri safo le ti talata fenjo la min tambita 230 la ni atabulo ko na talaba losulale. Ga je man kirisa kirisa fo nyaade nga firo bonde firo to bola.
I mentioned it once, but Lamin said that I should not mention it again.
Because the place was a reserve land.
As far as you know, was Lamin Sise aware that you were tortured by NIA officers?
Itela londoto. Atilamin Sise anatanyi londoko NIA ulu yete tilimbali yale bang.
Alon kende ke fana ta fonye kote ke ko lalben tolbul jandami alon kar ko manya ka fanke futandi wol.
He knows it very well, to the extent that he even told me that they got a special place where they have not yet arrived at in terms of dealing with me. I swear to God, he said that to me.
The office where you were tortured, do you know whose office it is?
Yo tilimbali yakela office monkono yalo ne jumala office bije bang.
Anumala jamala office.
I don't know whose office it was.
It was not Lamin Sise's office.
Amanke Lamin Sise la office oti.
Anamankala also.
No, it was not.
Did you see those people again?
Umolu ina te jele kote ke bang.
Mini woke mte mo ma ko me soutien on te dunta rek ni mi am fenken gol don na minte mo soutien lol ko.
I did not recognize anyone amongst those.
Adumolu tare konotole.
I found them inside.
Ani mo fula do min tata wol mam fenke.
But the two individuals that I went inside with, they did not do anything.
Okay. Apart from this instance, were you ever tortured again?
Bilinga beto wo sinya fulola ina te tajiri yale kote ke bang.
Ani.
No.
So after you signed this document and they gave you a copy, what happened next?
Bilite nyin kaito sign. Hanufo inata lo fanan copy ya dealer. Mune nata ke kola.
Nada sinanje fo talang woro mafanna.
We were there until around 6 o'clock and they told me to go home.
And this was after 3 weeks?
Andu wayatra lokun saba kola le moti.
Ha wo lokun sabo banta lumina.
When they
ne fon tata lokun sabo somol tata tata on the 22nd wolun nen murun ngalla na bunkon.
When the third week ended, the following day, which was on the 22nd, was the first time in the 21 days that I spent the night in my own compound. But they told me that I should be reporting there every morning.
Imam Sumala Belo by Tamakanan saying, Amanjara Moe Bel Kotakeja.
Informed me that Imam Bay's bail was still valid and that there was no need for a new bail.
During your detention, did they take you to court?
They never took me to court.
How were you feeding yourself?
If te fanga be fan do rendi kam fo be do ke kan soto kan nyaadile
jeto bam fo
jeto ha
je soman lolum tan sabe ko le di.
Well, there every day they will give you $30.
Wo tan sabo fo le bi ka du bulde ila do kula min bi jol kana le kunda nim bu ko nin kala akoy ke iba mino domola.
That money is not handed to you physically. One of their staff will come with a book and paper and they will ask you what you want to buy.
Ya fa ya tawosa.
You will tell him, and then he will go and buy that for you. But at that time that I was being detained, I had almost $7,000 with me. Because I was on the verge of going to buy merchandise.
And what happened to that money?
When I was being stripped off, when my belt, my watch, and everything was taken away from me, that money was counted. And when I needed food, I will tell them to take an amount from that money and get it for me. The toothpaste and soaps were all coming from that money.
Did you exhaust that $7,000?
Because
it was not exhausted because I was with a man called Tumani Jallo. On Tabaski, he did not have new clothes to wear. And one young fellow from the Kazamas. I called one NIA officer called Jiba. Go to the market and buy clothes for me. And Tumani Jallo. And the lad from Kazamas. And take that out from the money, my money that is in your possession. But what they used, I don't know how much. But by the time I left, what it cost, I do not know.
When you were released, were you given a balance?
Yes, they returned it back to me.
How much?
Now I cannot say, but the way they returned it back to me, I did not have any doubt.
Okay, good. So now you left detention, you went home, you were asked to report.
The
following morning, I went on the bail report. From Banjul, I came through the Banjul, behind the stadium, through Bakau.
Coastal Road.
Lamin Sise called me again. When I saw his call, which was a private number, I parked on one side. I received the call.
Mr. Cham,
he said to me, Mr. Cham, and I said yes. He said, it's me, Lamin Sise. He He said, do not be afraid.
But jele come back.
And he was laughing heartily.
Adi amnyabe kontana rimfana.
And he was speaking happily.
Kwenye kusobe niji na report ola.
He said, tomorrow if you are coming to report,
Kwe man kodo yusunka ha.
since you've not used that money, and I said yes.
Kwe kodo besi nana.
He said, you come with all the money.
Nata jikibage ko sila ngamiri firoba bolale.
I was so confident that now I know that this sale will be aborted.
Anoketa drong nakodo mume benyika.
Morning came and I picked up all the money.
Na tata mfutata.
I went with it and got there.
Mankodo nyini kambul froda ayna bel fenkol fenken sita fameta.
He didn't ask the money first of all. He was busy working on my bill.
Aba jele la kwenye ko director lefte bola bulo konole.
He was laughing. He said, I want to take you off the hands of the director.
Which director was he referring to?
Atabe director jumale mautumo.
Watembo Yankuba Bajile bije.
At the time, Yankuba Baji was there.
Kwenye ko director complaint jande minat nangebula.
He said to me, the director complained why I released you.
Fakala wulta fakam jamata kwenye ko barimman sonka ay bula ita because mole nate no kanja min kumata back.
He got up and he was touching me on my shoulder. I told him, no, I had to release you.
Kwenye ko yawato min best.
Yeah, I think there's something left.
Yeah, because people came here for me who are very important people.
Kwenye watu min best penjang inyanta jola le bari tata mafoi.
He told me all the time you spent here, you should have paid for it, but we went before we informed.
Like that was a hotel?
Because
it was Yajame's hotel.
Okay. Did he tell you how much?
Another fonya kan hakilu tengo bajele kwenye ko sila malla fi director ya lomfan ke bijanne mba fala ko nata ko do piki bulsu wala kon just to ko do na fena jurmu tabulo kan
just to calm me down. He told me that I don't even want the director to know that you are here. I will tell him that I came to your house and I took the money, so hand over the money.
I accounted for $90,000 will tank konondo
He counted the money and it was $90,000. He took that.
Will tannan exactly will tannan o kenyem buso kono.
He took 140,000.
Kwenye ko
put in the bag.
Pour wato mi spend jan director fan kamfata bakele mala fay tarja.
Will tannano ayoke mbuso kono ayoke nyadile.
Will tana o sen dinale.
He returned that back to me.
Another will tan kono tota.
He took 90,000. He said, I don't want the director to meet you here. Hurry and leave. I have a good intention for you. Just hurry up and leave. I said to him, I'm going, yes, but I was brought here by Tala. And if I incur any cost here, he's supposed to pay it. And all of a sudden, he got so infuriated.
But did you not remind him that you were eating mostly from the $7,000 that they had taken from you?
But imagine fine ko. Ite the muru men keje. Ibika okolo bondi ifansun wuli uro leto. Ini mentataji. You fine.
No, I did not tell him that.
Huh?
You did not tell him that.
You fine.
No fine. But in fire drunk tala nyanta ninjola ngamiwa minkejanta nyanta ojola.
But I told him that Tala was one who has to pay all the things that I include here, the cost.
And you left.
Sete baronya ya belo continenti nana ta pafeke falama la kwenye ko sini sura tembe kumandela.
I went home, but the bail continued, and I was reporting until, in the end, he told me to relax, and that when they needed me, they'll call me.
And according to your testimony, it was after this that the problem with Awajalo also started on the same piece of land.
Itun ko fata nyamin nyimbe kola lom ining Awajalo nato kolea ko soto atenyin korda kenekiri la ko.
Exactly, nyinka mala pruka nasrendro lafa because he told the kukilan sign. Awajalo nyi NI abidama NI tala it told be ba kenekiri ma fan killing wala and the be kabonyo kalamale. Yes, ndeka jisendral timu ko be tama kanka.
Yes. It was all part of the threats against me. Because these people have all been working together in cahoots. And I realized that, well, it is the same team, and they are just working together against me.
But what I cannot understand is that you have already signed a document giving this land to Talambu. And then you turned around and started fighting with our Jalo for the same piece of land. And not only that, you also signed a document giving the same land to our Jalo. And still you turned around and took the land again as if you had not given it to anybody. It is a bit worrisome, isn't it? Can you explain that?
The way I see it is that Hawa Jallo and her NIAs and these other NIAs, all of them are in the same thing, trying to scare me off that plot of land. If at all, truly, judgment had happened in favor of Hawa, then the house there would have been demolished. It wouldn't have been left there, just like the way it is.
Did you tell the chief in Lamin that you had signed a document at the NIA giving the land to Talambu?
Kafoko ye kaito sign le kaitan diko ye korda nyindi Talambu blale.
I told you that
I did not sit with the chief. There was no judgment. The only time I went there was when we were asked to pay $750 each so that they can go and visit the site.
But even at that place, and even before you went to visit, you went to the chief's residence or to the chief's court. And you must have said whether you owned the land or did not own the land. The plot of land up till date, I consider it as mine. I have not relinquished my right of possession, ownership. That is why I'm here today. And I know that if truly speaking, the judgment was in favor of our Jallo, that land wouldn't have been left lying down like that. This is the way it is. But these are people who were always conniving. You were involved in several questionable land transactions, true?
And idunta banku kene kunyal to mene alonko amanke kilinti jamalem me alonko akodal amambunyoto.
I am a business person. And I used to buy plots. And
let me ask you, how many times have you been to the police or to the NIA because you were involved in a land transaction that was not questionable? That was questionable.
Yo saying sinya jellemu ite nyinko ke kata police ka foko idunta nyim banku kene kulu kono meni alonko akuma mbojoto.
Nyafula.
Twice. Lalo Kante.
Ning Lamin Sise.
And Lamin Sise.
And Ning Awajalo.
Awajalo kera suo kono jan. Kiti manke, fengo manke. Barbiri ajibe ke.
Awajalo's case was just here at home. There was no court procedure. When they realized that they would not be able to dislodge me from the place, they gave up.
Anunta tulebulu.
Because I know that
Nanke ko NLM muta fomban sinka mbe fala barenta tulebulu.
even if the NIS detain me for whatever this
until I die, I will never leave that land.
Only one thing that will take me out of the land if the NIA detain me in one place. Otherwise, my whole life I worked and bought a plot of land, built a house, and now someone comes and tells me I have to leave.
Possible.
Not possible.
And you are telling this commission that Lamin Sise, NIA officer, forced you to transfer your land to Talambu, or to Aliusar for that matter.
NIA officer, I force le ke sign the kaito la puyo kenu saundi kadi mola ikafume Aliusar.
Aliusar.
Yes, Aliusar.
But in the transfer document at the NIA, they said it was a transfer to Talambu.
But transfer kaito bala saundi kaito bala NIA iko sign amunta adita Talambu lela.
Kaito mimba tebulo kono. The
document that is in your hand does not concern me because it's their statement and their signature that is there. My witnesses are usually my children and none of their signatures are on that document. So that document is only their own statement. But the document that is mine, I took it from the Alcalo and handed it over to them.
And it was a transfer
and I signed in Arabic.
And that was a transfer to Aliusar.
Exactly.
And do you know this Aliusar?
I never saw him. I told Lamisise I will not transfer the compound to someone that I have never seen.
Would
they had the power?
Would you have signed this document if you were not subjected to pressure, force, or torture?
Sign for being kaito sign dale ni me detendi ime tajire ya ime force e ba sign dale ba.
That sign.
I wouldn't sign.
Mamuta. Fereng.
If I was not detained at all, I wouldn't have signed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have no further questions for the witness.
Amunta council ko chairman Mumbara silang amanyin kar do soto kota ke pour que
before the witness is released, I would like to put in the exhibits. Mr. Chair, the National AIDS Council policy document was supposed to be Exhibit 161, and the protected information sheet for this witness. Hold a second, Mr. Chair. And the protected information sheet for Lamin Bojang was Exhibit 162. And for this particular witness, Mr. Musa Cham, Exhibit 163A should be the first PIS form, where the first PIS document wherein he wrote the names of some witnesses. And there is also Exhibit 163B, which is the second PIS form, wherein he also wrote certain other names, and there is PIS3, in which he also wrote some other names. And the transfer document dated 3rd August 2016 should be Exhibit 163D. With your permission, those exhibits should be entered in the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Information is noted and the requests granted. And thank you very much, Council, and also Mr. Cham for coming to testify before the TRRC.
Chairman Council Numbara ala do ko kan abete Mr. Cham Fananjaila abe Numbara la isonta pour kana CDR la TRRC.
And just for the record, the witness has been referring to a different Lamin Sise. I wasn't with the NIA.
Between Purukuala Senea Safiro Kang, Ibelamin Sise Memfokang, Umulamin Sise Doleti, but Amankako, Atelamin Sise Memu Chairman de TRRC Jang.
What a story of a massive threat and intimidation perpetrated by the NIA and the Department of State.
Nimuku Kawakubalti Meyalonko. Akatajire ya bati meya lonko silandiro lem aning kasembo tamandite kameya lonko na banko mansa kunda fon la duku lalu wolle nyim mantoro fon lete kan.
Extraordinary.
Ngata kubati.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate.
Mr. Chair, just one little procedural issue.
Yes, please go ahead.
And thank you, Baba, for raising it.
Sure.
You have said that while you were at the NIA, there was a Mr. Mboop there who did not treat you well, and that Mr. Mboop still works. He works at the TRRC. I just wanted to be cleared in the record what exactly it is that he did to you.
Iko watu nebe mutokono Mr. Mbubu dosu tale mentar je me ya lonko amanko lubeti andi fe freng bari iko ateo Mr. Mbubu kilimu hanin duwe bedo kola TRRC jan hanfo ko na inyo jele lafta jele seneyandi la.
I know the answer to the question, but I want it on the record.
Akaye nyinin karo lonne ayela jabiro lonne bari alaftale pour ay ka kuti menyanta safela ite lakku safetalu kon.
Tell us exactly what it is that he did to you.
Afonye nyim Mr. Mbubu mune kela.
Na murung for fulanjango kata selo nyinkono.
When I was taken for the second time to the cell,
I mean, she said that I found ko Bunda Jamal Leben Tulbul Jamini Alon Karko, Niam Batandim Besambala wallet, but I will not get Kenya describing it. Lamin
Sise said to me, we have many places here where when you become stubborn and waste our time much, we take you there. And
did he mention a name? Did Lamin Sise mention the name of one place or the places?
Lamin Sise ko dinkira lumenu foje. Ay dinkira kilimso na damen tofu bamfa man dinkira tofu.
Aman tofu but asifa min bijani ka taraje nyame awo fonyele.
He did not name the place, but the type of suffering and the hardships that one endures there, he told me that.
Could you tell us?
Awo fonyem bang ay bata fason le kataraji.
Akonye ko ni dun taje bi kalon febe suto kon febe tilbulo kon.
He said once you are inside, you are unable to tell whether you are in the daytime or nighttime.
And dun ni dun taje fane la hendo be kole ala lesa inyasa finkino fana.
When you are there, it is difficult for you to breathe, and you can also develop eye problems. And he said there are some places that are so tight that you will be unable to stand or do anything. As he was saying that, the telephone rang.
No problem.
I said, no problem. Even if I were to die, but I will not sign the document.
I will come account tambula ko lamin look at telephone la ko lamin se ya mo la kameva ko no problem.
Then
no problem because phone to laja.
He took the telephone from my hands and said to Lamin, he said, have you heard what he's saying? He's saying no problem. And he knows that no problem is never said here.
Mr. Mbube ko kumo for Lamin Sise.
It was this Mr. Mbube who was saying this to Lamin Sise. And then he said, returning back to the cell, do you not know that no problem is never mentioned here? That is one hardship that I encountered under Mr. Mbube.
Apart from that, did Mr. Mbube do anything to you?
Exactly.
Wokola.
Another kudo kela bang.
Wolomu during jani nyindon ka ke fam ko de ke la mise ka la statement ota
So Lamin Sise
Lamin Sise said, let him take my statement. And there are certain parts, if I read those parts, munekake.
At that time, Setumbu and Talambu were all standing. When I say something which he is supposed to write, if Setumbu denies that statement, he will say that he will not write that statement, that what he will say is what he's going to write. He did that forcefully. I told him my statement, I will say what I know. Nobody will force anything into my mouth. Tala and said that will not be written down, and he too said that will not be written down. So he wrote what pleased him. That is another hardship I encountered.
But eventually, did you sign that statement or you did not?
No, I did not sign. The document that I signed was just once.
Did Mr. Mbub force you to sign that statement?
Mr. Mbub, anate force le purka kaito sign bang.
No, I did not sign his document. I didn't sign the statement.
So that unsigned statement was useless?
Munda was statement signed balwa munda manna na fasutu.
But because I tell
let's just stick to the facts.
That is what God will do, because he will not make bless other things.
But you acknowledge that Mr. Mbub did not force you to sign that statement?
Mr. Mbub ame force pour kaito sign.
And I'm after you sign.
No, he did not even tell me to sign, in fact. After he wrote it, we dispersed.
So the only thing that Mr. Mbub did to you is to say that, well, here he is saying that there is no problem, but in this place you don't say there is no problem.
Munda kole akoma like wolem wato me no problem. Hanifu ate ko je nim fela fula jal no problem ite malon ko buka fujal ngamera yole fanu.
That's the only thing he did.
Amunda ayo dorne kela.
Amanda water ayo kaito ta na be escort ko kata fula min sise of sort ko take.
Not just that, he took the document and escorted me to Lamin Sise's office.
Kay ko nyimu mo kanjara balete ninka ba mi ninga min fa because so wala safar wata mbatandi bakale.
He said this man is a very stubborn person. When I was taking the statement, whatever I tell him, he will refuse. He will say he will not do it.
Was that true, what he said? Was it true or was it false?
Ayo memfonya tonya fufania.
It's not true. He accused me.
But were you accepting everything he said when the statement was being written?
I didn't accept it. Some things were written down which I did not say.
So he was right when he said that the things that they were telling you to say, you refused to say them.
Yes, because I will not accept them to put words into my mouth.
To conclude this point, the only thing Mr. Mbub did to you was to say that you were saying that there was no problem, and in that place you don't say there is no problem.
Amunda wato purka ko kumfa ate Mr. Mbub menke wala minti ka foko eto wato me ko no problem akoy jang mu buka fu jang no problem amunda wo kole mu koleate ate men mandikan.
I was
Yes.
And that is what you considered to be the big problem that he created for you. But in reality, was that a real problem?
So a big problem for me.
Thank you.
And it saddened me a lot also.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate. Commissioner Kinte, you have the floor.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Commissioner Kinte le Kenyaninka.
I have one worry.
Ila kachalu kono ini nyula NIA call follow.
In your discussions with the NIA initially,
ikapunyo mai ning usenu bulu du nyobulu foye ganyo soto luala tamandiro silola.
Your companion or your partner linked you up with Usenu and you were victorious in court. I think you can accept that.
Ila sila
And for the second time,
idingo ya polo ya Gomez yeko ibe NIL bulu le Gomez sula tela kuola wate watakabula nomo.
Your son told Lawyer Gomez that you were with the NIA and he was following your case. That also shows you that the law can back someone. The last thing that you explain here. Two things, the one you started with was the last, and the one that came last was the first. Two things. But there was a period when we came out of Jammeh's regime, because if the issue with Tala, if that happened in October, that case is just the way it is. So if our jealous case came, that will be around
around the end of October or in early November.
First off, what is clear here is that the fact that Yahya Jammeh was in power did not prevent Ousainou Darboe from winning the case for you in court.
Yahya Jammeh la maralo Martin na Gomez bulela ko nomo pokaje ko tonya itamela court.
And also, Yahya Jammeh's rule did not prevent Lawyer Gomez from pursuing your case and ensuring that you were safe.
Andung ite men fola munyinte ko birin be en kodo fola ye force alale ite ba guli keme sey noma itol ka guli keme fula tan sabadila.
And you said once all this was happening, you were being forced. While you were pursuing $800,000, they only gave you $230,000.
Inata muruko de ke wo kono yo guli tan kono to bondije dana ke mine bulu ken zawtula.
And then they removed 90,000 from that amount, virtually stripping you of your entire sum.
Other
things happen on the sidelines. For instance, you've been seated there and someone is signing on your behalf. All those things are improper. What efforts have you done to follow the due process of law so that you get assistance? Because at least you have been assured at least once that indeed the law does back people.
Okay, nakata kuwa minkeje.
Yes, what I tried.
TRRC manlo.
Even before the onset of the TRRC,
Modonata fonyeko ibitala Solicitor General Office.
Somebody told me to go to the office of the Solicitor General.
Minketa Magistrate Bojanti.
He was in the person of Magistrate Bojang.
Data will Tarakanifi Magistrate Court.
I went and met him at the Kanifing Magistrates Court.
Kai Mr. Bojang, Mansembo Sor Kamos, Kaloyata Kamosa Makitiola.
I told him, Mr. Bojang, I am not endowed enough to take a lawyer to take somebody to court.
Some Marco no lawyer to Puru, Nindunomi Belaran Kangabo Nifanka.
Can you help me with a lawyer so that the burden on my head, I can be able to remove it from my head?
Another letter of Safenye.
Then he wrote a letter for me. He wrote a piece of letter for me.
When you came to Banjul.
And told me to go to Banjul.
He told
me from here, if you go until you pass the NIA main office, the next building that we will reach,
Akonye biduna konote mwenye ka minto mu marena barato kanata bare marena.
He told me you have to go into that building and ask for somebody called Marena. I forgot his first name, but it is somebody whose same name happens to be Marena.
Ntataje.
I went there.
Ninata na ID card le mansonga.
I forgot my ID card and they didn't allow me to go in.
Murunta also mondin ID card murunta.
I went back the following day. I came back with my ID card.
Debe selela santo marena befunte kang do konye konyinu marena.
When I was climbing up the stairs, Marena was coming down the stairs. That's the time when somebody asked me, the man you are asking for Marena, that's him.
Ba jele watu mina birin lota tel jam fatanteti.
The time I was seeing him, when we stood, he was taller than me.
Kumasa kumwa explain na do akwenye ko iba yom fala nyele nkata mitino le fusamwena.
I started to narrate the whole thing to him, but the moment I started explaining, he told me, well, you have to forgive me today. I am going to attend a meeting, to come back tomorrow.
Also montatanga marena je.
The following day, I went and saw Marena.
Nana problem obefai.
I explained my whole problem to him.
Akwenye kubunda bina lola tamela.
Then he told me very soon another thing is going to be set up.
Nimbe tonyani fanya bola nyoto.
And that is the place where they will differentiate truth from falsehood.
But
always be looking on the television.
So, another phone kesita.
He told me to go. On my way going out, I met somebody called Lamin Jaju. When he looked at me and looked at my face, he called me. He told me, brother, your face is looking as somebody who is who is sad. What's the problem? Just to cut it short, he told me that I am a government lawyer. I cannot help you, but I.
Kwenye bante mansakunda la lawyer dintesa lono le tenun sikarema ko ngal lawyer but lawyer mi be sonna imajo fena lo ina kolera but tay radio e television la moy ni wo so rote ba karam talal.
He told me I am a government lawyer and I cannot stand for you, but you have to go and listen to the television. There will be a time when you'll be able to identify a lawyer who will be able to stand for you. When that time comes, then you can get up. That's what happened, and I went to many places before I arrived here. Because of this, until I die, I will not leave it.
But I think it's clear to you that the 140,000 that was with you, and the 90,000 that Lamin Sise took from you, if those two chunks of monies are with you, then the land cannot also be said to be with you. If you are to retain ownership of the plot of land, then those monies should be returned back to where they came from. What efforts have you made to ensure that you escape from these people, to ensure that you return back this money to them and be free from them, even if it meant forcing it into their hands?
Okay, in
my statement, I wrote there that their money, let me return it to them, or the balance left behind, let them pay me my balance. The person who took my statement, this is what I told him, and the person said that that will be in my statement. And I know that also, if I am going to take back the plot of land, I should return that money.
Barenta nyinkeno tulaje mi ya lonkar ko ralo rimbandemo ba ina ta caring mfure barenta tulaje,
because I know that a plot, a compound like that where I built a house, a complete house, and I know that the NIA are no longer existing, I will never leave that place until I die.
Ni judgment oketa yensefe ko fata jela woton sabula.
Well, if a judgment has to be taken against me and they inform me to leave the place alone, then I will forgo the place.
Wantilo manke kanyimbi je ron suto nitilo.
Without that, I will follow up this place day and night.
Okay. Akamante kufulo mela wala mu yela keme fula tansa bo sendi itaye ke kenoti ware yela keme se o timmandi itol taye ke kenoti.
Exactly.
Yale wala to bi.
Mba mboro mbe wodo no munala.
It's like what you have put down for them on the table is that they either take back their 230,000 which they gave you and you retain possession of your land, or they complete the payment of the entire 800,000 and they take their land. This is the only thing on the table. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further questions from the commissioners, Mr. Cham, if you have any final remarks to make, please proceed to.
Commissioner Musa to member in Kala, Mr. Cham, if I say sila kumukumfa kumakamulula it left a minufala.
Left me for pro kal ten kal jay.
What I want to say is to thank you. Truly speaking, where it is, since morning I was here. What I did not expect was what I found here. Someone came to me and called me in the morning. Until this point that I am at, my things are done carefully. And all of that has happened in a very peaceful way and a respectful way. And truly speaking, I did not expect that such was here. And anyone that speaks to me decently and with a lot of honor.
All that surprised me here.
So for that reason, I thank everybody, the council, every other person. I have a little disability which I don't want to say openly. If you could allow me.
Mr. Chairman, I think the witness has a particular concern which he wants to tell the commission, but he doesn't want to say it live on television.
1 minute.
Yes, but perhaps maybe after the end of this hearing he could say it without it being broadcast. I have had a discussion with him. Okay. All right, then I do not know what that is. There was another issue he wanted to talk about. I told him it's not a concern for the commission, and that is a private matter he should sort out personally. But it seems he has another matter. So perhaps at the end of the hearing, the broadcasters would be ordered not to record, and he would say whatever he wants to say, or he could say it to the commission privately in a room. Perhaps maybe that would be the most sufficient. But it's in your hands, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, let's hear first what he can say here, and because of the social distancing, whether or not we should go in the room and hear him. But witness, go ahead and
Amunta chairman kamen fotel wolem kumen ilafta fala fo wairi nyanta kenebula la nyote malen kana kata nyola wo dalilo ya sabu fo isi kumonyi fono le nyaado nyama ibe nyi sio mendo tembang fodu la ita fono la banda
sa fono jen bar microphone off no la ngaf.
I can say it here, but I would put up the microphone and say it.
I don't know whether the recording would pick it up.
Okay.
I really don't know.
No problem.
please proceed. When you get to that point, we would then see how we handle the situation.
So ibela kumu mfula tente yafo hanfo nimfuta ta udinkilato so itolbaju bela le ibako la nyame ya fahamu.
I understand. Well, if it's not going to be easy, let's just leave things the way it is and we pray for each other.
No, we would want to hear you, and you are here to, and we'll give you every opportunity. The Act requires us to give you opportunities to tell us what you want to tell us. So we will arrange for that. Maybe we go in our conference room and then do it, and then make sure that we have the masks on. So
may we have interpretation of that?
Chairman coming for the Wolomintiko. Inyanta akumufula between saying why kulo me alonko ita bankeno la lankena malateng. Saying as a keno is a dundi bunokono masko liye dum between ita left mem bankela kulo kono between isafutandi commission la alfalmaji. So nkobo keno la.
Yes.
Splendid.
I can do that.
Please proceed and make your final remarks, and then we go inside later on.
Woto silang itebe kuma kamulu menu fala ilafta menu bankela wolu fo between kome ilafta fala kulo kono alisina dum bunkono yeta fo commission la alfalmaji.
Please proceed.
Until sila ibela kumu kumfala menu la yolu fo.
Okay. Na kumu kumfala menu wala mbronka commission nyiki kamobe tende jayi.
Oh, another.
Mr. Chair, we've just been informed that they can turn off the feeder so the broadcasters would not get anything. So if in that case, if he wants to say it here, he can say it without the broadcast. But except that there are lots of people here and they would have to hear what he has to say. So I don't know what he would want to do here or there.
I'm not saying, men for that saying, what I'm ko kumakalo nying, masino men ka samba ka futandi banta for television lusa soto, isyo dube nole. Yo bari hanimbi wairi mo jamale konoto jang ni man la fi be amay hanimbi yemen foto e sidun konoto inin commissioner le diamu wala fo e si masini yindube membe la ko mo fintindila isa fo kenno isa fo bungo kono jang nyin kufulo membe nte matro
non sa fo no janne bari sa masin fa.
I can say it here, but let them put up the machine.
So I think when we finish our can be chaotic, and sometimes it does happen. Please proceed and then make your final remarks.
And comme chairman even for the woto non quite wala minti wrong aliyadum bunkono ila kullo ya fuji between saying yetenten wrong pour ibela kumo kum fala kuma kan lu men la se men fono jama kono saying ngol fodro han fono lu banta alisila ban kullo ko
wala mu tentroni jayroti.
That is to thank you and to praise you.
Min do ko nyin banko kono nyin banko din kilinen me nyila ko nyimbe sotola.
The work you are doing, no single person in this country ever had the faith that such will happen. And if God helps this country until such a thing is now happening, to reconcile people and also to provide them reparations, such a person ought to pray for those people. And I can give you the assurance that this issue is will also form part of my prayers. So that wherever they want the work to reach, God will make it easy for them to get to their point of destiny. And also the good health, which is the reason why one is able to leave their house in the morning and go out. May God also make that abundant. I appeal that from God and I pray for it from now onwards until I get home. Because I never knew that this kind of hospitality exists here. From breakfast to the lunch to prayer time, I was never alone. Each time I sit, someone was always besides me, keeping me company. Thank you all very well.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Cham,
Mr. Cham,
for your testimony. We will resume our proceedings tomorrow at 10 o'clock sharp. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.